Installing the VSP software. The VSP program suite is designed to run in and store data and results of its processing in the C value stats folder for Windows users, or simply root value stat folder for Mac OS and Linux users. You must install the software from the original distribution list folder from the VSP installer executable after purchase and download. We have the VSP installer exe is introductory because of the different platforms. Now we have the VSP underscore installer.exe for Windows users. We have the VSP m underscore installer.exe for Mac OS users. Then we have also VSPL underscore installer.exe for Linux users. The following steps should guide you when you are installing this software. Now, first of all, you need to create a distribution folder on your root directory, which you suggest to be VSP underscore dist, or simply just dist. Then you open to that VSP dist folder. Then, if you are using Windows, simply just click Windows logo plus arrow button together, and then type cmd, then press ctrl plus shift plus enter. That will take you to the environment, the command prompt environment. Now with full administrator's permission. Now, this is necessary because without the administrator's permission, you will not be able to make some changes to the configuration. And without making changes to the configuration, the VSP will not run at all. So therefore, it is made to at least add to the configuration of your system that will recognize it as one of the software that is allowed to run. Now, at the command prompt in the VSP dist or just dist folder, e.g. cd or this, like as it is shown here, that's in number 5 there. Different aspect for different operating system, just like that. Except that for Mac OS and Linux, you don't need to type the C column and then backward slash. Rather, the Linux and the Mac OS, they use forward slash as their own demarcator. Now, you will need to attend to any issues, if any, is raised by the system. Then, you go to the C values folder in Windows and click the VSP. This is after you must have installed it using the steps up to step 5. Then it will bring out you must receive a message that has been successfully installed. So there you can now go to step 6, step 7. You can go back to the Windows environment and then run the program. You look at the value start folder. You look at for the VSP.exe program, that is application. Right click on it, and then you can pin it to the taskbar, and you can also pin it to the start menu. This is for ease of use and ease of location whenever you want to run the program. Important. So remember to load your Excel data set files first to the value start folder before attempting to conduct any analysis. Otherwise, it will give you errors of file not found. Now, this will take us to how we prepare our dataset file. It is very, very important that we pay attention right here now. So, preparing your dataset files. Due to the ease, ubiquity, and popularity of the MS Excel spreadsheet, VSP adopted it as the base dataset app. Research Solutions datasets. Now, we have two types of solutions here, research solutions and then business solutions. Now, we'll now look at the research solutions. The research solutions datasets are all the datasets that we use to conduct all the regression, ANOVA, GMM, and so on and so forth. Now, all research solution dataset files are by default designed to use the .xlsxss extension files. That is the latest version of Excel. To define data heads, columns are named and used to identify variables of the set. Now, for instance, supposing we have data that we want to use for analysis, then we have the ID of each of the organizations that we are using as firm ID. Then we have a task group, the group that will now identify each of them. Then we have something like pre-tax as one of the independent variables. Pre-tax 1, pre-tax 2, pre-tax 3, pre-tax 4. Then we also have something like comp as the dependent variable, or also one of the independent variable. And then we have tax paid maybe as the dependent variable. Now, each of these are in a way going to be arranged in the Excel sheet in the way it appears here. Now look at the first column is column A. What is there is OBS. OBS means observation number. Then the second column is B. Then that B stores firm ID. The third column is C. The C stores task group. The fourth column is D, and that is for pre-tax 1. Fifth column is pre-tax 2. Sixth column is pre-tax 3. Seventh column is pre-tax 4. Eighth column is comp, which means compliance. Then the ninth column is tax paid. Now, the first row is where you see this OBS, firm ID, and so on and so forth. After the first row, all other rows are now what now contains the data for each of these heads. For each of these heads, that is what all this is now contained. That is anything from row 2 up to row 1 million, whatever. How many data observations that you have. The values of each of them, according to the firm ID, are then stored below them. Now, this is the first row is where the VSP will look at to find out which one is the variable, which one is variable 1, variable 2, or pre-task 1, pre-task 2, and so on and so forth. So depending on how it is defined and designed. Now, the names of the columns and the data groups they represent must be remembered when you want to run the test. Must be remembered when you want to run the test, because the names must be given to the VSP software the way they are written in Excel, in the Excel sheet columns. Otherwise, the system will not recognize them. For instance, tax paid is not the same thing as tax paid. That is, or tax paid. Now, look at the spelling of the first tax paid. The first tax paid is capital T, then small ax, then capital P, and then small aid. Then the second one that the system may not identify as the other one is all of them were in small letters. Then the third one, the first letter is in capital. It then means that it will not see the second one and the third one as the first one because they are different. Now let us go back a little bit to that. Now let's look at it. Now for this one, now we'll find out that what we have here is okay, as it is now, the capital T and capital P for the tax paid. That's what we have. Now let us. I hope we have understood what we mean here now. That it will not understand this. It will not understand it if you use different case to type the name of the variable. Even if when the name of the variable is spelled correctly, but you use different case, it will simply take it that it is not the same thing that you are referring to. Yeah, so that is for the research solutions. Now let us look at business solutions. Now, business solutions data sets utilize the 1997/2003 Excel file format with the .xls extension instead of the .xlsx extension used by the later versions of MS Excel. Please remember this. Always remember this. This implies that you must save your file as a 97/2003 Excel file when you generate your data for this category of analysis. Well, but it's not all the business analysis that uses this, especially those one that is under the VBU business analysis is the one that uses this. There are other ones that we are going to encounter later that also uses the XLSX, but we are going to see it later. Now, why are we saying this? This is because using the wrong Excel file format will generate error. If, for instance, instead of using the XLS, you decide to use XLSX, then of course it will generate error to tell you that it couldn't find the file. Now, another important thing to note here is that whereas you can place the variable name in any order with the columns in the XLSX extension files, you must, however, arrange the variables names of the business solutions in the order with which they shall be read and processed by the software codes. Sample data set for DCF analysis. Now, let us look at this. Yeah, so let's look at, this is a sample data set for DCF analysis, that is discounted cash flow analysis. You can see that the first, just like before, the first row of the Excel sheet is dedicated for the variable names. And now, what are the variables in this one now? The variable here is for the first one is year, that's for column A. Then for B, it is discount factor, that's D factor. Then for column C, it is 2014. For column D, it is 2015. On column E, 2016. For column F, 2017. For column G, 2018. Now, you can now see that all the other one, because we are talking about futuristic, we assume that, event has happened up to 2018, but the other event, which is a year 0 or year 1 to whatever year you want to analyze to, start from 2019. That's why 2019 is there. Then you now look at the second row. The second row contains the discount factor that we want to use. That's year 0. Okay. The second row contains year 0. That is row 2 contains year 0, which is 2019. And then the discount factor that we want to use. And then the amount of the investment. The amount of the investment. For 2014, initial outlay is 1.2 million. For 2015, it's 1.5 million. For 2016, it's 2 million. For 2017, it's 1.1 million. And for 2018, it's 1.12 million. So those are the initial outlay. You can see that the discount factor is just there to show that that is the year 0. Now, from 2020 downward, upward, whatever you call it, then, of course, these are the expected cash inflows for each year. It doesn't have to be what it is here. You can change it to whatever figure you feel that it is applicable there, and then it will be picked when it is being processed to give you exactly what you need. So that is on that. Then, having done with preparing the data sets, the most important thing is that you must save these data sets files with a name you can remember in the value stats folder, because that is the working directory of VSP. If you save it in any other place, VSP will not be able to find it. You can only save it where it can find it, and that is the value stat folder. Whether you are using business solution or you are using research solution, the working directory is C. Well, if it is for Windows, C value stat folder. If it is for Linux or for Mac OS, it is simply root / value stat folder. So that's that.